It is game day here in South Florida, and Hurricanes fans could not get to the parking lot soon enough. Canes need every bit of their support as Miami tries to bounce back from a Labor Day weekend letdown, hosting Savannah State coming up next. Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, and we're ready for the ACC on ESPN. Tonight, it's the Miami Hurricanes hosting the Savannah State Tigers. And we welcome you inside the booth, everybody. Great to have you with us. Drew Felios with the former Florida State national champion, Forrest Conley. It was a tough week. One also for the Miami Hurricanes, and thank goodness after losing to LSU, remember they lost 3 to end the season last year for us. Where is this Miami program headed right now?
Well, right now they need to be headed towards some joy, and I think winning this ball game will bring back the joy that this ball club had the first 10 games of last season.
Well, players, coaches, everybody searching for all the right words, trying to mend the wounds caused by the LSU Tigers earlier this week.
Well, you can't worry about what happened in the past because you can't change that. What you can worry about is what happens in the future because you are in control of that, and that's what this ball club has to focus on, what they are in control of. And tonight it starts with this ball club, Savannah State.
Head coach Mark Richt has certainly been in situations like this before. Forrest, you know you played for him in your days at Florida State.
Well, that was one of the interesting things when we talked to Coach Richt yesterday. I asked him, did he look back at when we were together at Florida State and we lost to Notre Dame and Boston College beat Notre Dame and we were told that we were in control of our destiny again, all we had to do was win. Did he tell his team the same thing? Because if they win out, they will get back to where they want to be, which is competing for a national title at the end of the season.
Malik Rozier, Hurricanes quarterback, a little bit on the hot seat right now. How well does he have to play here tonight?
I think he has to play very well, but when you look at Rozier, he is the senior. He's the guy that's played in the big ball games. He just has to snap back to that 10-game performance he had prior to losing to Pitt, and I think this ball club will be fine. They also need to establish the run. That'll help him out.
And establish Jeff Thomas some more. He was the best weapon on the field in Arlington on Sunday night, making big play after big play.
Well, catches behind the back, tiptoe catches on the sideline. He was a man among boys against a special LSU defensive backfield. He'll have a big game as well this evening.
So all things considered, Forrest, what are you looking forward to most with this Miami club here tonight?
Well, I want to see some consistency from this ball club. They had some big plays, but they need to be consistent with it. If they're consistent, if they can protect the quarterback, give him a pocket, they'll play very well.
Savannah State taking on the Miami Hurricanes, looking for their first win in 2018. We've got the kickoff coming up next. Just about set for kickoff here at Hard Rock Stadium. 22nd ranked Miami Hurricanes taking on Savannah State, team with also something to prove, and this is only the second all-time meeting between these two teams. They met 5 years ago, and it was a Hurricanes onslaught. In fact, it was the most points scored in a game by any Miami team ever. This could be a record-setting performance as well, as Coach Evan Rayburn. Tough task for his Tigers here this afternoon. Third season at Savannah State, 3-7 in year one, 3-8 in year two. A well-known coach throughout the Division III ranks before taking over Savannah State football. Welcome the challenge of trying to turn the program around. It has certainly not been an easy task. And for Mark Richt, the 2017 ACC Coach of the Year. Remember, last season, Hurricanes were rolling at one point in time, but did not finish the season strong. And then a disappointing outing in Jerry's World last week in Arlington. And the Hurricanes trying to rebound here tonight. So Miami will kick it off. Bubba Baxa, the freshman out of Pasadena, Texas, to put it in the air. Back to receive for the Tigers. That's Jamichael Baldwin, number 86. And Rashard Saxon is there with them. Baldwin's going to take it in the end zone. It'll be a touchback to start for the Tigers of Savannah State. So there's no question coming in, Savannah State is going to be overmatched here tonight, but they're looking for anything positive that can come out of coming down here to play these almighty Hurricanes.
Well, if you're Savannah State, you don't worry about being overmatched. You worry about your game plan. And I think for them to be successful, they've got to try and establish a running game, and they've got to run the clock. You want to speed the game up. So take your time, run the football.
Quarterback is Devon Gibbons, listed as the backup coming in here tonight, more of a runner from the usual starter, T.J. Bell, and he goes down on the first play from scrimmage as Shaq Quarterman wastes no time blitzing the quarterback.
And I don't quite understand that play. You start out with an empty back, 5 wide receivers. You know they're going to bring pressure off the edge. There was nobody to block Quarterman. He had a free shot at the quarterback. You've got to do better with your protection schemes. Protect your quarterback. And excuse me, that was Zach McLeod.
Take it up to the 21-yard line. The rushing attack is actually something positive for Tigers football after falling last week to UAB. They did rush for 155 yards in that game, but this Miami defense, when they're clicking on all cylinders force, they're still among the best in the country.
Well, I think for Savannah State, you need to start with the short, quick pass game, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, try to get it to a playmaker out in the open field to allow them to make a play for you.
Sar Benaby, bottom of your screen, and this is going to be a fake handoff by Gibbons, and he'll lose 3 more. 56, Michael Pinckney, the junior, out of Jacksonville, making the stop, and it's an early 3-and-out for Savannah State.
And that was a great job by the defensive end, John Garvin, number 97. He stayed at home. He did not go for the ball fake, which did not give the quarterback anywhere to go to try and run the football down the gut of that defense.
DJ Dallas back to receive this punt. Chandler Williams to put it in the air for the Tigers. Fairly high kick. Dallas will fair catch it at the 48-yard line. So we'll see Malik Rozier for the first time here today. And Rozier, the redshirt senior out of Mobile, Alabama. A little banged up right now. Took some shots in that LSU contest. He's a very resilient guy, though, but he took some tough questions from the media this week and really needs a good performance tonight to build his confidence. Numbers last week, only 15 of 35 completions, 2 interceptions with it, and a touchdown. Give this to the running back. They want to get the running backs more involved tonight. And how about the Tigers with Terrence McCray making the tackle? And that'll be a loss by Travis Homer.
And number 77, Jahir Jones, the pulling guard, needs to keep his eyes open. You've got to watch for those linebackers trying to shoot the gap.
Coach Richt wants to get those running backs much more involved here tonight. It's Homer again. He'll bounce off a tackle and take it across midfield before Rutledge took him down. And did the ball come loose? It did. The Tigers have got it right at midfield.
And this is just what the doctor ordered. You want to gang tackle these running backs from Miami, hold them up, and if you're not the guy initially there, you want to come in and try and knock the ball out. Now you see they get him, they hold him up, great form tackling, and right now he's got to squeeze the football because you know defenders are coming and trying to pull the ball out. Nobody pulled the ball, he just lost the ball right there. You've got to squeeze the football right there. You cannot allow the ball to come out.
John Wilson recovered the fumble. That'll be Tigers football. T.J. Bell back in at quarterback. And that looked like a near face mask there, but down at the 42, a flag will come down the far side of the field. I think the Tigers are going to get a break here.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 56. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And right now, the Miami defensive Savannah State to the punch. You see number 75, you see number 69. They are not able to get a hand on the defensive lineman. They're getting up the field. You see the face mask, but all of the defensive line is up the field, 5 yards up the field, along with the running back when he's trying to get north and south.
John Garvin got a fistful of face mask. The Tigers trying to keep it on the ground again. Just tough to run against these Miami linebackers. Shaq Quarterman very outspoken this week. This was the guy, Forrest, who had the team meeting, who has to take the lead on this defensive unit.
Well, I love Quarterman. Of those 3 linebackers that came in at freshman and started together, this is their 3rd year. He's the alpha male of that group. He's been built like a grown man since he arrived on campus, and you see it in his play.
2nd and 13 now for T.J. Bell. Savannah State. Could they get a first down here? Little confusion there from Bell, and he's on the run. Just chucks it out of bounds. So the Tigers have yet to gain any yardage on 7 offensive plays.
Well, they did get some yards on the penalty. And I think that was because it was going to be a big loss, and the defensive lineman just got a little bit excited and grabbed the face mask.
Coach Rayburn's definitely going to use that play card here tonight. It's 3rd and 13. Look at that front. The hurricane is certainly coming. T.J. Bell from the shotgun. Gets some extra blocking help. Looks like we got a flag.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Well, what's interesting is Miami's bringing 7 men up to the line of scrimmage. They've got 4 in coverage. They're playing 0 coverage in the back end. They have no safety. They feel confident that their defensive backs can cover the Savannah State receivers. They're bringing everyone to the line of scrimmage. I think Savannah State needs to look to keep a back in the backfield to help protect the quarterback, and they need to get their quick passing game going.
Bell tries to unload it. It's incomplete. Was looking in the flat that time for C.J. Cole. That'll be 4th down for Savannah State.
And so far, the passing game woes continue for the Savannah State Ball Club. They've got to find a way, I think, to establish some type of running game. They've got to get their backs north and south. Too often, these guys are going east and west when the Miami defenders get to them.
2nd punt coming up for Chandler Williams. DJ Dallas back to receive it. Dallas will let it bounce. It'll roll into the end zone and be a Miami touchback when we come back. Just underway here at Hard Rock Stadium.
On the field.
Early turnover for the Hurricanes. They'll get it again next. Miami offense trying to get in gear here. Their 2nd series coming up. Defense doing a good job. Tigers of Savannah State unable to grind up any real estate, although they did get some yardage on a penalty. So Hurricanes will start from the 20. Malik Rozier in at quarterback for the Hurricanes. 3 wide receivers in the game. DJ Dallas. Fake it to him. Now toss it out. And that ball's mishandled. Jeff Thomas couldn't get hold of it. I'll tell you what, so far, Savannah State playing pretty good defensive football.
Took his eyes off the football. He was looking down the field. I think Malik Rozier put the ball where it needed to be, but you've got to get better blocking on the outside. Cager has to do a better job of picking up the defender because he did not allow Thomas to get up the field. You've got to do a better job on the outside when the ball isn't coming to you.
2nd down. Rozier hands it off again. This is Dallas trying to bounce it outside. DJ Dallas able to pick up 4, knocked out of bounds. Just shy of the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5 coming up.
And a good job by the Savannah State defensive line, stringing that play out, stringing it, allowing pursuit to get there and forcing Dallas out. I thought Dallas was the more effective runner last week against LSU, so I'm not surprised to see him in early in this ball game, although the fumble did help.
3rd down and 5 now. See if Rozier can make a play. Malik Rozier sets up for his first throw. Rolling to his left, and he throws it behind Darrell Langham. So a 3 and out for Miami, and the sounds of Hard Rock Stadium right now tell the story.
And the Bluebirds are out early in this ball game. You see Coach Rick talking to Rozier right now. He's got to get his head in the ball game. And I tell you what, the more 3 and outs that Miami has, the more mistakes they make offensively, the more confidence this defense from Savannah State gets.
Zach Fiegels punting it away for the Hurricanes. Low kick. Does take a Miami bounce, and they'll down it at the 20-yard line. That's a good play for the Hurricanes. Tough start for Mark Ricks, Miami team. Sluggish start for the Hurricanes. Scoreless here at Hard Rock Stadium. Drew Felios, Forrest Connolly, great to have you with us. Third series now for Savannah State. Team that comes up very banged up this week heading into this contest. Their offensive line, the tight ends, wide receivers, all shaking off injuries. And right now, Devon Gibbons running for his life as the ferocious Miami defensive line continues to make plays, and number 99 Joe Jackson was in that time.
And if I'm Savannah State's offensive coaching staff, I'm looking to run some screen passes right now. The Miami defensive line is pinning their ears and coming after the quarterback every time they're in a passing situation, when they're in the gun and they know they're going to pass the football. They tried the quick passing game earlier, that did not work. I think you go at the screen game. Let's see if they can get positive yards if they run the screen game.
Look at John Garvin, big number 97. Here's Gibbons, hands it off right, and Rashad Saxton trying to get to the outside. And you just see the speed from this Miami defensive line. John Garvin, the sophomore from Lake Worth, had a great game against LSU, had 3 tackles for loss and a sack on Sunday night.
Well, I don't think they're going to be successful going east and west. You just don't have the speed to get to the edge against this defense. Miami does a good job of keeping everything in front of them. I think with their rush up the field, you've got to go north and south. You've got to hit it quick. You can't play around. You can't dance around against this defensive front.
Not a good situation for Gibbons to be in again. 3rd and 14 as the crowd comes alive here at Hard Rock. And we're going to have a timeout for Savannah State. Tigers
First timeout.
Want to talk this
Savannah
over. Savannah State falling to UAB at Legion Field in Birmingham, 52-0 last week. Next week, MEAC play begins as they'll face Howard. Remember, it's their final season of MEAC football for us. This is a program getting ready to play down and eventually make their way into Division II football. But in South Georgia, you know better than anybody, Forrest, there's a lot of good talent down there. And Coach Rayburn feels like he can recruit and build this program.
Well, you're in a hotbed of talent in Savannah. You've got Jacksonville, which is very close, where there's a lot of talent. And you're close to South Carolina, where there's a lot of talent. So they have a bevy of places to go and bring in talent to help this program as they continue to move forward and press towards being a winning, program. So I think they're doing what they need to do to be successful. I also think they're doing a very good job so far in this ball game defensively. Let's not overlook that. Let's not, overlook their defense. We talk about the lack of play by Miami's offense, but I think their defense has something to do with that.
Gibbons trying to get away, not going to happen. Amari Carter, the sophomore defensive back, coming off the edge, and it's another 3 and out for the Tigers.
And every time Miami walks and shows blitz, they get to the quarterback. Savannah State has to do a better job. The back has to do a better job. Rashard Saxton, you cannot just dip your shoulder and try and block the defense. You've got to stick your head in there. You've got to give up your body to protect your quarterback and give him time to try and get the ball down the field.
Chandler Williams punting out of his own end zone. DJ Dallas takes it at the 46. Dallas has got some room if he can cut it upfield, and he will take it to the 30-yard line, giving the Miami offense phenomenal field position here on their 3rd series. So Malik Rozier under some pressure here in the first quarter. These Miami fans, this is not a typical college crowd. They treat their team like it's an NFL team. They expect greatness here in Coral Gables, and got a couple talented redshirt freshmen behind him, N'Kosi Perry and Cade Weldon, son of the great Casey Weldon. We could see these two youngsters later on here in this game.
Let's not forget Jaron Williams as well. He's another talent that we should see this afternoon.
Canes will run the football. Tigers playing tough. Big number 58, the best player on the field for Savannah State. Stephen Banks, senior defensive lineman, coming up on 200 career tackles. He's a good one.
Well, Banks is on the watch list for the Black College Player of the Year, and you see why. He comes up and he makes plays. He's not the biggest guy in the world at 6'1", 230 pounds, but he's a guy that plays with a high motor.
2-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 8. Travis Homer next to Rozier. Rozier will screen it to him. Homer, couple jukes, takes it up for 8 yards right to the first down marker. And I think you see the coaching staff sort of setting up Rozier, little easy screen pass. It's here.
Well, that's what you want to do when your quarterback is not playing well. You want to give him some easy passes to get him going. It's kind of like a basketball player that's not shooting well. You want to get him to the free throw line. Let him see the ball go through the basket. So for Rose, you want to get him easy passes. Let him see his receiver catch the ball and get positive yards.
Just shy of that first down mark. Will be 3rd and 1 here. Tigers crowding the line. They're going to power forward with Trayon Gray, the redshirt senior from right here in Miami. That'll be first down Hurricanes.
And that is what you call grown man football right there. You saw the surge from the offensive line. If you get under the defender, you're going to get a surge. And the offensive line did a great job. Look at all of them, flat backs, pushing back. By the time the back hits a Savannah State player, he's 3-4 yards down the field.
That's the first down for Miami in this game. And now Rozier trying to go to work. Play fake, tosses it out. Gray has it. And he's going to take it inside the 10-yard line. Picked up 9.
And a great job by Rozier with pressure in his face to deliver a strike to his back. Gray to allow him to catch the ball and get north and south. He stood in there in front of the pressure, in the face of pressure, and delivered a pass. That's what you want to see.
Second and 1. Hurricanes inside the 10. Hand off to Gray again. Gray keeps the legs moving, powers his way to the 3-yard line.
Now, as an offensive lineman, I'm looking over to the sideline and I'm telling the coach, let's keep running the football. This is what you play for. This is why you hit the sled. This is why you prepare yourself throughout the summer for red zone, goal line opportunities to show that you are the stronger man.
It all starts with the center, Tyler Gauthier, the senior, big number 74. Hand this one off right side, and again, well played by Savannah State as Banks got there quickly, keeping Travis Homer from getting across that goal line.
Well, the one thing I don't like about trying to stretch it to the outside or going off tackle close to the goal line is everybody is close to the line of scrimmage. So when they realize it's a run, it's not hard to get up to the ball carrier. I think you need to run dive plays right here, run directly at them north and south downhill.
2nd and goal. He's going to be taken down. Another good play by Savannah State. And that's 59 that time. Zane Burton crashing in and continues to surprise here and play tough in the first quarter.
Well, the offensive line has got to accept the challenge. This is where you have to accept the challenge and you have to stick your helmet in somebody's chest pad and knock them back off the football. When you're down on the goal line, you're basically bear crawling because you've got to uproot the defender.
3rd and goal now. Rozier will throw it. And it is caught in the end zone. It's a touchdown. Will Mallory able to squeeze it. And the Hurricanes on the board for the first time here at home.
And that's a great job by Mallory because the defensive back Marquez Bonner had good coverage. He got his hand in there. He tried to knock it out at the end, but you see Mallory squeezing the football, something we don't see young guys do very often, and maintaining control.
They got really talented tight ends here in Coral Gables. Will Mallory, one of them. Freshman out of Jacksonville. Extra point try now for Bubba Baxa. That's an 8-play drive, 31 yards.
Timeout on the field.
Mallory getting congratulations on that sideline. Will Mallory, first touchdown for the Canes here at home. Will Mallory, part of a talented group of tight ends here in Coral Gables, only a freshman. That's his first touchdown as a Hurricane, and a big one for Miami. I say big because it was certainly a sluggish start for the Hurricanes offense, and that completion, I think, big for Rozier's confidence as he heard some boo birds here early. Ball taken from the 1. Jamichael Baldwin able to get a pretty decent return up to the 23. So Miami 10-0 at Hard Rock Stadium in home openers. They were 7-0 here last year. Love playing in this great venue. Won their first 10 games a year ago before losing their last 3. You can see, even though didn't have a good showing Sunday, the fans have come out here tonight, and they are ready to flex their muscle and eventually begin ACC play. As you said, Forrest, all the goals for the Hurricanes still in front of them. Jalen McLeod taking the carry that time, and this Miami team should not get discouraged because still so many big games on the schedule still to come.
Well, it's the first game of the season. It's a non-conference opponent. You're in a Power 5 conference that is represented in the national championship playoff the last 3 years. Why get upset? Why, allow that loss to affect the rest of your season?
Jalen McLeod takes it up to the 25-yard line, and this defense only gave up for us 296 total yards to LSU. They only gave up 140 passing yards, just over 4 yards per play. They had a pretty decent showing in Texas.
This is a really good defense, but you can't keep them on the field, and I think that's what happened in the game against LSU. LSU was able to get on top of Miami early, and it forced Miami to go to a passing attack, which allowed the LSU defenders to pin their ears back, which then allowed them not to be as versatile offensively and keep the ball, so their defense was on the field a lot.
Saw big Scott Patchen lining up on the right side of that defensive line. Here he comes. TJ Bell trying to get away, makes a pretty good move, and took it to the 27-yard line before Nesta Jade Silvera, the freshman defensive lineman. These freshmen on defense look really talented.
And that was a good decision by Bell because Miami only rushed 3. They dropped 8 back in coverage. There was nowhere to go with the football, and you put yourself in a position to give up an easy turnover deep in your own territory. So that was a good job by Bell. Get as much as he could and not give up a turnover.
Giovanni Lugo will come on to kick it away. So a switch at punter for Savannah State. They'll kick this one out of bounds as the Hurricanes will take it at the 41-yard line. So Miami making some things happen on their last drive. Remember, they had that great field position and then a nice screen pass set up for Rozier.
Well, that's what you want to do for Rozier. Get him easy passing to get the ball out to his playmakers. And a great job by the tight end, Mallory, squeeze that football and come down with it. That's what you want to do. You've got to get confidence back for Rozier. He's going to be your leader. You've got to have a confident quarterback if you expect to win ball games.
Rozier to throw again. He's got several teammates open. Dumps it off to DJ Dallas. Dallas can line up anywhere, and he is tough to bring down all the way to the 44-yard line. A first down for the Hurricanes.
And I tell you what, I like this kid, Dallas. He has a low center of gravity. He runs hard. He gets north and south, and he runs with a lot of power. Rozier did a good job of holding on to the football, making the defender commit. Once he committed, he got the ball to Dallas, and you see the balance, the vision, and the strength running the football.
First down for the Canes. Rozier looking over the middle, and he's going to hit Brevin Jordan. And that's the first catch for this highly touted tight end out of Las Vegas. Big number 9, Brevin Jordan. Talk about a superstar in the making. He is mega talented. Out of Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. Played 71 plays against LSU last Sunday. As Michael Harley is going to squeeze this one. Hand it to these Tigers. They're not given much. Desmond Young, number 43, and on the tackle that time.
And Rozier has to be careful because he's telegraphing these passes. He's eyeballing his receivers right now, so he needs to be very careful with the passing game.
4 wideouts now and a first down for Malik Rozier. Rush comes again. Rozier stands in there, hits this man. It's Brevin Jordan. Jordan's all the way to the 13. He is going to be a weapon, I'm telling you.
Well, you think about it. Mallory had the great catch for the touchdown. Jordan has had 2 catches this drive. It's in the history of Miami to have great tight ends. Olsen, Franks, Winslow, Shockey, Njoku, Herndon. That's what they do here at Miami. They have great tight ends, so I'm not surprised at what these young men are doing so far.
This ball going to be tipped away and incomplete.
That's the end of the first
So
quarter.
we've reached the end of the first quarter. Miami overcomes a slow start. They lead 7-0. To the second quarter here on the ACC Digital Network. Drew Felios, former Florida State offensive lineman. Forrest Connolly, thrilled to have you along for the ride. Hurricanes driving right now. They've got at the 13-yard line. As Rozier taking the Canes offense down the field. A couple good plays by the freshman tight end Brevin Jordan on this drive. Keep in mind Will Mallory, another freshman tight end, scoring on the first drive. So 2nd down and 10. Travis Homer, the carry. Homer bounces it to the right side, and a nice run. Takes a big pop before KJ Singleton brings him down at the 3.
And I like the way Homer's holding the ball high and tight. He kept it to the outside. He's keeping it away from the defenders, and you've got to go back to him. Homer did a really good job for this ball club last year when Walton went down, and he's a guy that you know will play big in big ball games, so you can't look at that fumble and hold that against him. It was just a good play by the Savannah State defense.
First down and goal. Nothing tricky from the Hurricanes. Give it to their power back, Trayon Gray, and he is met in the hole. Number 56 got there, Aaron Robinson.
And a good job once again by the Savannah State defense in the red zone to get penetration and get a hand on the back. The initial contact did not bring him down, but it slowed him down enough for pursuit to get there.
2nd and goal. Gray's the blocking back. Rozier's going to try and sneak it forward. And Malik Rozier looks like he is across the plane. Touchdown. Well, that'll certainly silence the Boo-Birds for us, at least temporarily.
That's a good job by Rozier finding the crease behind his offensive line and sticking the ball in across the line for the touchdown.
Hurricanes able to mix it up. Run and pass, 8 plays, 51 yards on the score. And a drive that took nearly 3 minutes. Bubba Baxa was 1 of 2 last week in that LSU game. One he missed was a 45-yarder. 1 for 1 on extra points here tonight. and now 2 of 2. 14-0. Hurricanes starting to take control.
On the field.
Malik Rozier, the easy 2-yard sneak in for the 6. Malik Rozier and the Miami Hurricanes silencing some early bluebirds. 14-0 is the score. 13:44 here in the second quarter. 7 of 10 passing so far for the Hurricane starter. Baxter to put it in the air once again. That one not returnable. Baldwin lets it go over everybody. It'll be a touchback for Savannah State. So Savannah State actually won 3 of their last 4 contests last year after having a tough start. Coach Rayburn really proud of his squad. And currently the Tigers playing much better football than they did when he first took over the program. Meanwhile, across the ACC, Boston College taking care of business today. NC State as well. Get to more of those scores in just a moment. Toss this one over the middle. This is the first positive yardage for the Tigers as Sar Benaby, the wide receiver out of the Bahamas, makes the grab and gets it upfield.
Well, I think they are just happy to have a completion right now. This is a ball club that had 1 completion last ball game. If they can get 2 completions, they double what they did production-wise last week. So for Savannah State, I'm a little bit shocked that they played this well so far, but they've come in with the idea that we're going to compete, and I like that from this ball club.
C.J. Cole gets it at the 30, and he's swallowed up immediately. Canes defense so quick off the ball, and that was Michael Pinckney, the junior from Jacksonville again. Raines High School represented.
And once again, you see penetration in the backfield. Savannah State has to find a way to block these linebackers when they're coming downhill. The guards have got to do a better job of their tandem blocks coming off of those double teams and at least putting a shoulder pad to slow down these linebackers coming downhill, or they'll continue to have free shots on the backs.
Tigers need 5. Gibbons just throws it away.
And you see great coverage on that play, and it allowed Michael Pinckney to come with a delayed blitz because there was nowhere to go with the football. They had the blocking set up pretty nice, and they gave him a little bit of time, but there was nowhere to go with the football.
Well, Coach Rayburn, Forrest, you asked him earlier this week, Coach, do you like any matchups on the field? Can you exploit anything with this Miami defense? And what did he tell you?
No. Very clearly. And you know, usually when you have an FCS opponent facing a big-time Power 5, they'll tell you, well, you know, I think on the outside, if we can block, our receivers can get open against their defensive backs, or I think our defensive backs can do a pretty good job against their receivers. That's kind of where you can find those matchups. But he told us clearly, without hesitation, no. But what I do see from this Savannah State ball club is competition, competing. They came to compete. They're not coming out here to just lay down like everyone expected. They are competing, and I like the fight that they're putting up right now.
7 of 10 so far for Rozier. And offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, Coach Richt and company making it pretty easy on him right now. Very safe throws and going to the running game. Time and again, DJ Dallas up to the 33. That's 58 again. Who's been impressive in the first half, Stephen Banks. Keep in mind tonight for Miami, they are without Amon Richards, one of their top wide receiving targets for Rozier. So certainly having to adjust to that. We have not seen Jeff Thomas thus far make a play. He's the guy we talked about in the open. So explosive against LSU. Here's Rozier to throw. Looking downfield, this one a little high, but the catch made, and just like that, Thomas is heard from here in the second quarter.
And once again, he shows the balance that you look for in your receivers. He's able to down and squeeze the football at the same time. You see him tracking the football. He knows where he is on the field. He's able to get that left foot down. This guy is a special talent with his ability to catch the football.
That's a 20-yard pickup. He is so good at getting those toes in bounds. The officials now going to want to look at this one more time.
Previous play of completed catch is under review.
I think you saw, though, on that replay, his feet were clearly in. And, Forrest, that's a gift that not all wide receivers have. To be able to make that catch, get your toes where they need to be. And keep in mind, in the college game, you only need 1 foot in. They'll take a look, and we'll take a break. Miami up 14-0. Just before the break, officials were reviewing this. Did Jeff Thomas control the football when he hit the ground? I mean, it looks like he has it. The foot is in. The ball comes out when he hits the ground, but this is not the NFL, keep in mind.
I think it's a catch, but it's going to be interesting to see what the officials think. But look at here, right here, he's got control of the football. The foot is down. I think he has the football. Is this going to be a Dez Bryant type situation with the Dallas Cowboys facing the Green Bay Packers?
After further review, it's determined the receiver did not maintain control to the ground. He's 36 to 33.
The ball does move at the end of the play, but you can't make a football play when you're going out of bounds and you're going to be down. I mean, interesting call by the officials.
The catch has been taken away. They're going to place it back near the 39-yard line for Miami. So an interesting call there by our officiating crew. Coach Rick cannot believe it. I'm a little surprised up here as well. The way I see a play like that, Forrest, you make the catch, you got the foot in. If it comes out when you hit the ground out of bounds, should be a catch.
Reset the game
and I'll tell you something that
11 minutes, 31 seconds.
And I'll tell you something that was overlooked on that play. That was a great catch, but Stephen Banks got pressure on the quarterback. Navon Donaldson, number 55, he has to do a better job on the outside on that island because Banks is coming off that edge and he opened his shoulders up prematurely on that pass protection. And if he continues to do that, I think Banks is going to get to Rozier. I'm going to watch that matchup on the outside. We talked about Banks being the best player overall, defensively and offensively, for the Savannah State Ball Club. And scouts are looking at him probably at an outside linebacker position and special teams guy. But he got pressure on that play, and there have been a couple of plays where he's been in Rozier's face.
Brings up third down now. Rozier out of the shotgun from the 32-yard line. Rozier fakes the handoff, now tries to step up. He'll go right down the middle. It's caught by Jeff Thomas. A foot race. Stretches out, and did he get in? I'm going to say he is out at the half-yard line.
And I guess Jeff Thomas said, okay, you want to take that from me? I'm going to get in about 30 yards more. You see him with a strike on the skinny post, and Thomas in the open field is trying to outrun the defensive back. A good job. And I think this is a touchdown because he hit the pylon. He was in bounds. He never stepped out of bounds, and all the ball has to do is hit that pylon, which means it's crossing the goal line.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, it was a 66-yard catch and run by Thomas, and you can sense this crowd wants Thomas to get that touchdown.
Well, Thomas is the guy. The first replay went against Thomas. I think it's going to go for Thomas because, watch, he's not out of bounds. He's still up, and that ball hits the pylon. To me, that's a touchdown. Now, Savannah State may argue that he fumbled the football, but that's after the ball hit the pylon, and he's in control of the football. That's the key. He's in control of the ball right there. To me, the pylon knocks the ball out of his hand. He didn't fumble. He's not down. You see the foot scrubbing. It's staying in bounds. I think that's a touchdown.
Oh, what an exciting player.
And what a great throw by Malik Rozier. Let's not overlook the throw because he put it right where it needed to be for Thomas to get it and continue to go up the field. He let him. He threw him open. A great throw by Rozier on that play.
Head referee tonight is Edwin Lee. He's had his hands full here in this first half. So a 20-yard gain taken away by Jeff Thomas. He comes right back, goes for 66 on the next play. Question is, was it a touchdown or not? Savannah State has played good defensive football so far, but Thomas just said, give me the ball during that sequence.
I'd be shocked if they don't overturn this and call this a touchdown.
After further review, it was determined the runner stayed inbound and touched the pylon with the ball in his control. The touchdown.
And that ball hitting the pylon is what made that a touchdown. And when you talk about receivers, some of the intangibles that you look for is elusiveness, fight, and fearlessness, and you see that in this young man. You see the fight to get to the end zone. You see the stretch. I love the way he plays the game, and I tell you what, he's right in line with what you think about when you think about some of the special receivers that come out of this Miami program.
Call it a 67-yard hookup from Rozier to Thomas. It's 20-0. And the three-play 71-yard drive capped off with the touchdown. Back's extra point is good. All smiles from the U. If there's anybody out there who doesn't think this Miami game here tonight against Savannah State meant anything, don't dare say that to Malik Rozier, who desperately needed a shot of confidence, and he has certainly gotten that here in the first half.
Well, I like what they did with the play call. You want to get him some easy passes early, get that confidence level up, and then allow him to get vertical. And you saw who he went to with the vertical passing game. He got the ball out to his backs in the open field in the flat. Then he went to the tight end in the seam. And once he got that going, then he's able to get vertical with his big playmaker, Jeff Thomas.
Here's Baldwin taking it from his own 1-yard line. Return out to the 23-yard line. Jamichael Baldwin getting a lot of work in here tonight. If you're just joining us, Miami started a little bit slow. Savannah State making the Hurricanes earn every single yard. They have played tough here in the first half, but just moving the football, getting first downs, certainly has been no easy task here tonight. They've been alternating quarterbacks between Devon Gibbons and T.J. Bell. Now it's Bell, the sophomore from Louisville, Georgia. This ball is bobbled. That is a fumble, and it is recovered by Miami. Trajan Bandy with the recovery. He is the same guy who was ejected in that LSU game, making a big play on defense for the Canes.
Well, they tried to go at the jet sweep, but when you're trading quarterbacks, this is the type of things that happen, and the turnover chain is back. It's finally back, and you see the fans going crazy. This is what gets this team going right here. And Bandy, the guy that got kicked out of the game, and let me say, I don't think he should have gotten kicked out of that ball game, but Bandy makes the recovery. But you're going with the jet sweep, and when you've got different quarterbacks, and you just said it, Drew, you lose the consistency with the football.
New quarterback in for Miami, and it's N'Kosi Perry, the redshirt freshman out of Ocala. First snap is a Miami Hurricane. He'll toss it right side, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Darrell Langham.
And he put a little bit too much on the ball, and you got to think he's real excited about getting in the ball game.
Well, Coach Richt has called this young man the future star of the program. suspended last week, was not available for that LSU contest. Offseason violation of team rules. So no real playing time so far for number 5. Imagine what is going through his mind right now. Second down, he'll work out of the gun. Perry goes short. The ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage as he was looking for Travis Homer. It'll be third down.
And the offensive tackles for Miami have got to do a better job of being stout at the point of attack. There's too much catching going on by those guys. I want to see some punch from them on the outside. When you look at the weight differential, there's a 70-pound differential in the offensive line compared to the Savannah State defensive line. You've got to punch those guys. Get them off of you. Don't give up your body and allow them to get to the quarterback.
3 of 4 on third downs today for Miami. They need 10 yards here. Perry looks left, tosses it out. It's caught. And here's Jordan. Once again, that big tight end. They'll use him in so many different areas. About 2 yards shy of the first down, and this crowd wants the Canes to go.
You absolutely should go for it. These are some of the things you need to work on, and this is when you challenge your offensive line. They need to understand you've got a freshman back here, so it's all on us to provide him the time if he's going to pass it, and if he's going to hand it off, we need to provide the space for Homer to get up in the scene and get the first down.
Timeout called on the field.
First
Perry and
timeout.
company
Miami.
will come over
30 seconds.
and have a chat with this coaching staff. As Coach Richt forced, when he was the offensive coordinator at Florida State, you were a starting offensive lineman. Tendencies, what does he like to do, especially on offense?
Well, you know what? I don't know what he likes to do, but I know what I'd like for him to do. I want him to line up in some old school I formation, put a fullback behind your quarterback, get the quarterback under center, hand the ball off to either your fullback on a dive and let him go play grown man football, or hand it off to your back behind the fullback and let's go mano-a-mano, because they should be able to blow these guys off the line of scrimmage and get a first down.
Just sense the urgency tonight from Coach Richt's Hurricanes. Trying to put this game away early. Now well in control. Valuable moments here for the youngsters like N'Kosi Perry. A 4th down and 2 from the 12. Travis Homer is the running back. Perry will hand it to him. Tries to stick his nose in there, and he'll drive forward very close to the first down marker. Going to depend on that spot.
And whether they get it or not, I am disappointed in the offensive line, because once again, you've got to be the person to make the initial contact. I want to see a surge from the offensive line.
Big 77 there, Jahair Jones. This offensive line, they struggled against LSU. Gave up 4 sacks, did not communicate well across that front as well.
Well, that LSU defensive front outside of Florida State will probably be the best defensive front they'll see all season, unless they play Clemson, of course, in the ACC championship game. So I'm not going to, go too hard on them about that.
Try and run this one again. And it's big 24, surging. Travis Homer. And as far as that offensive line is concerned for us, I'm looking at big number 74, Tyler Gauthier, the senior. And the coaching staff, especially Thomas Brown, offensive coordinator, said big 74 in the center of that line needs to be more vocal. He needs to take control. He needs to direct traffic, and needs to play with his head up a lot more.
Well, he's a versatile player. He played guard his first 2 seasons here for the University of Miami. So he's a guy that can play, and he's very interchangeable with his ability. But they've got to get lower than the defensive line.
Second down. Love to see Perry make a play here. He'll look left, throw that quick slant. It's right on target for the touchdown. Lawrence Cager.
And Cager does a good job of getting his body in between the defender and the ball. Defender had no play. John Wilson at 6 feet cannot cover the 6'5" Cager on the outside. He did a good job of positioning himself where only he can make a play on the football, and a great job by Perry delivering the ball right where it needed to be.
Lawrence Cager, that one was on the money. Backs of 3 of 3 on extra points. Makes it 28-0. So the Hurricanes, we thought they would do coming in, and it's the first career touchdown pass for N'Kosi Perry.
And what an exciting time for Perry to get his first touchdown pass. You see him over there talking to KG. You gotta love it for the kids when they make their first big play, especially at home with an excited crowd. And this is the score that the fans were looking for it to be. It started off slow, but it's starting to trend the way that everyone thought it would. And when you look at Rozier's play, the crowd was booing him, but let's not forget, he had something to do with all 3 of the touchdowns. 2 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown. So I'd say he, kind of redeemed himself so far, albeit it's against a lesser opponent, but you want to see positiveness from your quarterback. And for the Miami fan base and for this team, they just need to get a win right now to get back to the winning ways that they had early last season.
Savannah State set to receive this kick. Let it go once more. Forrest, I know that big-time programs get criticized a lot for scheduling teams like Savannah State. But for Miami, you're exactly right. They really needed this. They had a tough finish to 2017 after winning 10 in a row last season. And here in week 2, they desperately needed a win. They desperately needed confidence, and they are getting just that.
Well, I also think it's a great opportunity for the FCS programs. These kids get to play in a big-time environment. They get to showcase their skills against the country's best college football players, and they get to show that they are among the best.
Tigers have got it. Now they'll try and run it right. Gibbons, good athlete, trying to get to that outside. And he'll be taken down by number 15 as Gregory Rousseau, freshman defensive lineman, was able to string it out. Rousseau penalized on special teams in that LSU game on Sunday night. A lot of these Miami players learning on the job as youngsters. Unfortunate he had to make that mistake under the bright lights, the nation watching on Sunday night. A lot of the times, though, that is when you learn the most. Make a mistake first and simply don't let it happen again. As Scott Patchen, junior defensive lineman, part of a Miami legacy, number 19, making a play, and one of many players from that IMG Academy down in Bradenton. A lot of legacies on this Miami team with Patchen, with Michael Irvin Jr. Cade Weldon will likely see later. Also Al Blades Jr., son of Al Blades, nephew of Benny Blades. Wearing green here tonight. 3rd down and 4. Toss it out left. And this is to the speedster. Nice move made right there, and James Kicklider able to get it to the 34, about a yard shy of a first down.
And you said legacy, and I think when you talk about Weldon, he's a legacy player from a team upstate at the top of the state. I don't think Miami fans.
Still a legacy,
he's
just
a legacy,
not a Miami legacy.
He's a legacy of a great rivalry for this Miami program.
So 4th down, Savannah State sends on the punting unit. See the extra protection they're offering tonight. Not letting anybody get near Giovanni Lugo. Lugo gets a boomer away. Wow, he blasted this one. It's inside the 5, and Savannah State unable to down this one. So it'll be a touchback for the Hurricanes. Miami cruising 28-0.
Timeout on the field.
Miami Hurricanes going to work here in the first half. Malik Rozier finds Will Mallory for the first score, then steps up. It's his wide receiver Jeff Thomas, 67 yards, hitting the pylon and getting 6 there, and then the perfect quick slant as he was able to connect with Lawrence Cajun. That last throw was by N'Kosi Perry. He is the quarterback right now. Perry fakes the handoff. And a little short throw that time gets it to Brevin Jordan. He gets out of bounds. That'll be a short pickup. The main reasons why they love N'Kosi Perry so much, got that dual threat ability. Very fast, live arm as well, and good leadership skills. Great communicator.
He's a big kid at 6'4", so he can see over the line of scrimmage to get the ball down the field as well.
2nd down and 7. And this one off. DJ Dallas been active here in the first half. Picks up about 2, maybe 3 yards. 67. Michael Police in on the play.
And one of the things that I've been a little bit disappointed in from the Miami offense is the offensive line's inability to get movement against this defensive line from Savannah State. They've got to do a better job of firing off and getting their fits and staying low and playing with the flat back. Too often I see them standing up. They're playing high right now.
3rd down, they need 5. 4 wideouts for N'Kosi Perry, the redshirt freshman from Ocala. Perry with good protection, able to stand in the pocket. Throws this one though a little bit behind D. Wiggins, and it'll be 4th down. That's one thing about you, Forrest. Anytime you're calling a game, looking very closely inside the trenches of that offensive line, you got to block a little bit better for your young redshirt freshman.
Well, these are the type of games that you want to work on your fits. These are the type of games where they should dominate at the point of attack. The line of scrimmage is where you win and lose ball games. So I think for this offensive line, they need to take advantage of this opportunity against an outmatched defensive line to show that they can move these guys around. The offensive line is the only position on the field where you have to make contact with someone on every single play. So I want to see this offensive line get more movement.
Well, coming up on the Capital One halftime report, catch up with Malik Young and find out how he's still helping the Hurricanes. You can also see how the Canes' latest gear stacks up. And we'll have highlights and stats from the first half as well. All coming up. Capital One halftime report. Be sure and stay with us. It's only a 33-yard punt. Zach Fiegels has struggled a little bit as the Hurricanes punter. And I mean, here in South Florida, the crowd, they will not hesitate to boo the punter if they have to.
Well, they expect better from every player on this team. He averaged about 36 yards a punt. Last week against LSU, he had a couple of punts that were shanks. So they're looking for a better performance from everybody. And I like that. I like, honestly, the Boo Birds when Rozier wasn't playing that well, because that shows you that they are expecting better play from this ball club, something that you hadn't seen in a while during the golden years.
Best offensive play for Savannah State, Jamichael Baldwin. A 1st down and a pickup of 16 yards.
And it shouldn't be overstated, another completion for this ball club. A good job with the ball fake, and you see the quarterback get rid of the football and get it to his receiver where he can get down the field. A good job by Bill. Don't get too excited. Just deliver the ball where your receiver can catch it and get north and south.
That's the first down of the game for Savannah State. Rashad Saxon now the running back. Hand it to him. Tries to get east-west. Not going to happen. 97 able to chase him out of bounds. The speed of John Garvin.
And I've yet to see a back be able to plant that foot and get north and south on these plays that start out east and west for Savannah State.
That last play was the first down for Savannah State that they've been able to get without a penalty. Tigers have yet to score a point in 2018. Remember, they lost 52-0 last week to UAB. Another handoff and another tough run for Saxton. Able to get out of danger and avoid a disaster, make something of it. As he took it to the 48, it'll be 3rd down and long.
And I think when they want to run the football, it needs to be north and south. It needs to be a dive play. It needs to be something that develops quickly. They can't have these slow developing plays because of the speed of the Miami defensive line and the linebackers coming downhill. They feel confident they can cover in man coverage on the outside, so they're not staying at home. They're coming downhill.
3rd down, 14. Canes pinning their ears back here. T.J. Bell throwing again right at the 1st down marker. That's DeAndre Sneed, the sophomore, and he caught it right in front of the sticks. It's going to be 4th and about 1.
You can see a good back shoulder throw. The receiver did a good job of just adjusting and getting the football and bringing it to his body. Let's see if this was a catch.
Yes, sir.
And a good job by our camera guys to give us a good view on that.
4th down and 1. Sneed in motion. Handed to number 6, Saxton. And Rashad Saxton. Going to be very close.
And a good job by Saxton to avoid the initial defender, make a fake in the hole, and be able to get up the field.
Situation like this for us, you just want to tell the officials, give them the 1st down. These guys are working so hard from Savannah State, obviously outmatched here tonight.
Well, he had to fight that half-yard because there was penetration. Right here when Saxton gets the ball, right here, penetration, he had to sidestep. And, you know, it's interesting. I thought they got a bad mark on that ball. I thought that was the first time. You see where he fell. It looked like he had the 1st down.
The effort has certainly been there here in the 1st half for the Tigers. 2:36 to play here in the 2nd quarter. Perry tosses this one out. Michael Harley. Chance to make something happen for Miami. Take it to the 44-yard line. And that'll be about a yard shy of a first pickup of 9.
And once again, Cager has to do a better job on the outside of blocking. That's the 2nd time they've run that play. And Cager's guys come up to be able to kind of disrupt and allow pursuit to get over to the receiver.
Another St. Thomas Aquinas product is Harley. They have produced so many great players in the past. Travis Homer takes it up for 1st down yardage. And we've got 2:03 to play. The clock will continue to run as Miami looks for another score before halftime.
Timeout for injury.
Player down for the Tigers. That is Terrence McCray. One of the great stories of this Savannah State defense. He is a military veteran. Served time in the Marines before suiting up for the Tigers. Junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Slowly making his way up off the ground. If we could see where 25 got caught up here. Let's get up and walk off under his own power. Good sign. N'Kosi Perry already led Miami to 1 touchdown, trying to do it again. Perry getting out of trouble and out of bounds right near midfield. Now keep in mind that N'Kosi Perry also in competition with Cade Weldon, the redshirt freshman out of Tampa. Also got Jaron Williams, who we could also see later on tonight. 4 of 7, 27 yards, and there is a heated competition going on right now for the guy that eventually is going to try and replace Malik Rozier. This one's caught. 3rd catch for Brevin Jordan. He's not going down easily. Brevin Jordan made his first catch tonight. A true freshman at tight end. How does Miami get so many great tight ends year after year? It is amazing.
Well, I think when you can go into a recruit's home and say, hey, you see what we do with tight ends, and they go 1st round. it's an easy sell. It's a great program to play for. And then you've got guys that from that position do well at the next level.
Going down quickly that time is Perry. Savannah State getting in once again. Michael Police. First guy there. Keep in mind, this Miami team and this program forced a golden opportunity to make strides on the recruiting trail, because at Florida State, you had a coaching change. At University of Florida, you had a coaching change. When that happens, get a chance to capitalize and bring in some of those extra recruits that decommitted. Mark Richt doing a good job of reeling in some of that top-tier talent.
Well, not only that, you're in Miami. I mean, they don't have to leave Miami to fill their roster with talent. You've got so much talent in South Florida, and you've got so much tradition in this program, and the fans are now back behind this program, and there, once again, is expectations for championships. There was a time during the golden years where guys were just hoping that they got to win. And now their expectations, not only for conference championships, but to compete for national championships, because of what Coach Rick has been able to do as far as bringing excitement back to the program and keeping kids home.
Yeah, this Miami program did have the best recruiting class in the state of Florida in 2018. Said several publications, better than Florida and Florida State. Keep in mind, you got Charlie Strong in Tampa, at South Florida. Now you got Josh Heupel recruiting at UCF. This Hurricanes talent, though, South Florida, you can just recruit out of your backyard, some of the high schools around the Miami area, and compete for national championships year after year. It is that good.
Well, when you can sell to a kid, you can stay at home, your family and friends can come see you play, and you can compete for titles and chase that dream of playing at the next level. What else do you need to do?
2nd and 7. Clock winding down here in the first half, and that likely is going to be the final play, as both teams will head to halftime. Slow start for Miami, but business sure did pick up. The Hurricanes have got some swag back. They lead 28-0 after one half of play. Halftime festivities coming up from South Florida in a moment. Halftime report. Welcome to the Capital One halftime report here in South Florida. Hard Rock Stadium is the site. Miami with a comfortable 28-0 lead on Savannah State. Well, it is time to talk about Miami's Malik Young. Remember, a severe neck injury might have ended the Miami defensive back's playing career, but he's still finding a way to contribute to the Hurricanes off the field. Andrea Adelson reports.
If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. This tattoo that I have, it means a lot. And reminding myself that whatever you do, you have to accomplish to keep moving forward.
Loads, throws for Mitchell, intercepted. Malik Young in the end zone.
This play was the epitome of Malik Young.
This play started the turnover chain phenomenon.
There's Malik Young, and woo, what's the hardware? Got a little jewelry.
He is what a Miami Hurricane football player wants to be. And for him to get the first turnover chain, it was enormous.
Intercepted. Malik Young has the turnover chain, will make its second appearance tonight.
He's on track to having, a great season and a great career.
Cornerback Malik Young was a standout sophomore in 2017, leading the team in pass breakups while amassing 43 tackles and 2 picks, helping the U go 10-2 in the regular season.
Inside the end zone for the touchdown. The Hurricanes are on the board.
In the Orange Bowl, Miami had just taken the lead early in the game, kicking the ball back to Wisconsin.
Me and the fullback collided, and I vibrated and went to the floor. And for about 3 or 4 seconds, I was dazed, and I got up and walked to the sideline.
I just remember saying, get nickel ready, and they were like, Malik Young's down. I saw him standing there trying to get back in the game. We were like, get him back on the field.
Finney, the trainer, pulled me back, like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. And he asked me again, am I okay? And I said, I feel a sharp pain in my neck. And then that's when he took me under the tent.
Making matters worse for Miami, Malik Young, one of their starting corners, leaving the field.
Malik would be further evaluated in the locker room.
At that moment, I wasn't able to fully take off my shirt. What was going through my mind was, this is wrong. You just have a little tension in the back of your neck. It's okay.
We later learned if you'd went back in, it could have been fatal.
Malik injured his C1 and C2 vertebrae and tore a ligament in his neck. He would be re-evaluated at University of Miami Hospital several weeks later and got the news no Division I athlete wants to hear.
I was shocked. He told me that I couldn't play football. In my head, I'm thinking, this is all I got.
I mean, I cried. Now.
I told him that, you know, his life is bigger than football. You know, what he's been through and what he's about to go through is going to make him an even better man than he's ever been.
I have 4 screws and 2 rods in my C1 and C2 vertebrae to connect my bones back together. It was time when I threw up and my neck was jerking. I lost like 7 pounds, and I couldn't really do nothing at all.
His teammates came to visit Malik in the hospital.
I walked in immediately, like, you know, just feeling sorry and having sympathy for him. But, you know, he didn't want that. He wanted everyone to be uplifted in the room. He was smiling and talking.
I'm glad they showed me the respect and came to see me, because that's something that I needed from my teammates at the time when I was at my worst, and I thank them for that. After 2 weeks, I started being able to take my own showers, and I was able to take off the brace.
After 4 weeks, Malik transitioned permanently from a hard neck collar to a soft neck collar, and then eventually,
knowing that I don't have to wear a neck brace no more, I was like, I'm back to the regular me. I can do what I want to do.
The biggest thing is that we want him to know he's still part of the team, and we love him and we need him. His locker is still his locker.
We feed off Malik being out there. I mean, sometimes when we're tired and we feel like we can't go a play or two or we're cramping, I mean, you know, you just look over at Malik.
Young stayed on scholarship, where the biggest highlight came in the spring.
Why did you have him present the turnover chain in the spring game?
It just made sense. Number 1, because he was the first guy ever to get it. 2, because we just wanted him to be a part of it. Once we had that idea, there was no other way we could see it going about.
I gotta motivate you some way. I can't tell you everything in detail like that. I just want to be an inspiration to people. And me being on the sideline, me being physically out there, it's just an inspiration. I don't even have to say nothing. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward.
Great tribute to Malik Young. Thanks, Andrea. 28-0. Hurricanes lead here at halftime. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to the Capital One halftime report. Here in Miami, 28-0. Hurricanes lead the Savannah State Tigers. Drew Felios with Forrest Connolly. Well, while other teams continue to up the ante on adding unique elements to their uniforms, the Hurricanes made theirs out of uncommon materials that could actually help the environment.
Love this uniform. This is totally thumbs up.
First is Oregon, the OGs of dope uniforms.
Trend setting changes the game.
The fashion statement of college football.
The most notable change this year? The massive numbers on the fronts and backs of the jerseys. The question is, how many different combinations will Oregon unveil this year? This is #1 in counting. Earned, not given. That's the motto of the Virginia football program, and that phrase is stitched inside the collar of this orange jersey. The helmets are also unique, with a rough surface representing the texture of uncut marble, the stone used to create numerous columns found across UVA's historic grounds. Some pretty deep stuff with this combination. You all know this guy.
And I'm so excited the Gators are joining Team Jordan Brand.
Florida and Oklahoma will be joining Michigan and North Carolina in rocking Jordan Brand uniforms on the gridiron this season. Jumpman, 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 them boys up to something, woo! Shout out to Drake and Future. Only 11 programs will wear the brand new Adidas PrimeKnit A1 uniform this season, and here are 2 of them. Rutgers replaces the school's word mark with the block R on the chest of the jersey, and NC State's uniform features custom shoulder stripes to resemble claw marks. Next up is a first for Gear Up and all of football. Miami will debut a uniform featuring repurposed and upcycled materials. It's composed of over 70% regenerated yarn, a raw material transformed from fishing nets, and other nylon waste intercepted in marine environments. Who would have thought that a uniform could be so eco-friendly?
Tony the Land Shark.
The mascot is perfectly done by Ole Miss.
The University of Mississippi has a new mascot named Land Shark Tony, inspired by the team's Land Shark defense. It's fitting that Ole Miss is giving Tony a proper welcome to the program with this great white shark look. That's right, all white everything, from the helmet to the cleats. From Miami to Ole Miss, we may need to consider an aquatic-themed edition of Gear Up.
Hurricanes looking good and playing good as well. Jeff Thomas, 67-yard touchdown. 28-0 Hurricanes at the half.
With the Capital. With the Capital One Venture Card, you'll earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just airline purchases. Think about all the double miles you could be earning.
Holy moly, that's a lot of miles! Shh.
What's in your wallet?
One of the receivers said, "Thank you very much."
To route over Holy Cross, NC State taking down Georgia State. Wake Forest over Townsend. How about South Florida, the big win over Virginia Tech? Duke takes care of Northwestern, and Virginia Tech impressive over William and Mary. Your ACC scores on a busy Saturday of college football. Miami leading Savannah State at the half, 28-0 behind Malik Rozier.
Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Breathe, and it's a fan.
That's a tech van. Really, what's happening?
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Welcome back inside the booth. Drew Felios alongside the former Florida State offensive lineman Forrest Connolly. Pretty good half of football by both sides. Miami starts slow, they finish fast, and Savannah State making them earn every single yard, every single point.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you look at this Miami ball club, the freshmen have stepped up to the plate right there, the tight end, making a big play for him, and the big play receiver, Jeff Thomas, getting down the field on what initially did not get called a touchdown, but he stretches out to get it across the pylon.
Jeff Thomas, that was a 67-yard touchdown. Then the first touchdown pass for N'Kosi Perry. Right there, the quick slam as he hit Lawrence Cager. And that was your scoring. 28 points for Miami. Look at the total yards, about what we expected. Savannah State, let's be honest, they're overmatched here tonight.
But I'll tell you what, Savannah State is playing ball. They are not giving up. They are competing, and I like that from this ball club. You know you're overmatched, but they came in to try and do as well as they can.
Second half coming up in just a moment. You're going to see more quarterbacks for Miami. We're going to find out here as we're set to begin the third quarter. DJ Dallas will receive it for the Hurricanes. Dallas takes it from the 10-yard line. DJ Dallas gets down the right side, and he's out of bounds at the 36. So Miami will have it in pretty good field position here to start the second half. And we will see N'Kosi Perry, still the redshirt freshman out of Ocala, here to begin quarter number 3. First down from the 35. Perry hands this off, and getting a bulk of the carries tonight is Travis Homer. Picks up 4 on first down.
And I think we're going to see a lot of the running game from Miami this half. I know the coaching staff, I know the offensive line coach, Stacey Searles, from his time at the University of Georgia, prides his offensive line on being able to run the football. So I know he wants to see these guys get some good fits and get some movement on that defensive line.
Homer again takes it to the 40. Takes a good hit that time by number 12. Got his helmet in there, Isaiah Bennett, the senior safety. Mark it at the 40-yard line. Player down right now for Savannah State.
And these are some of the concerns when you are an FCS opponent coming in to play one of the Power 5 schools. When you look at depth, you have the risk of guys getting injured.
Trajan Rump right now being tended to.
Look for number 48. And you see him get his right ankle rolled up at the end of that play by his own teammate. Watch the right ankle right there. It got rolled up on. And it looks like they're checking his knee for stability. And you hate to see that for a young man that you know has worked very hard in the offseason to prepare himself, and also for a young man getting an opportunity to play in a big-time environment. Once again, his teammate, number 58, Stephen Banks, rolled up on him. He's able to put a little bit of pressure on it as he's helped off the field, so that's a good sign. Let's hope he can get back into the ball game.
Rumpf is a junior out of Bradenton, Florida. Went to Manatee High School, famous program that has produced guys like Tommy Frazier and Willie Taggart, now the Florida State head coach. Legendary high school coach Joe Canan as well. Not a good sign for Savannah State. Hey, what if you are Tigers head coach Eric Rayburn, you have got to be proud of the way your team has fought Miami up to this point. Still a lot of football to play, but Savannah State, we thought they were going to be totally overpowered. That has not been the case. They've certainly fought tooth and nail. 3rd and 5 now. Here's Perry. He'll drop back to throw, and he wants the home run. Up for grabs, and it's caught. Darrell Langham. First down, Hurricanes.
And that's what you call helping your quarterback out. Langham slowed down, back to the football, and high pointed it. You see him slow down and make a play for his quarterback. He snatched it out of the defender's hands. Number 21, Donald Rutledge, had a play on the football, but you see Langham get higher than he did and high point the football.
That's a 38-yard gain. First down and 10, 22-yard line now for the Canes. Pretty good body of work for N'Kosi Perry. His first action as a Miami quarterback. Finding the hot hand right now, and that is a dart. Lawrence Kaiser, his second catch, and another first down. It's 1st and goal.
And that is a difficult pass by Perry. It's across the field. It's a dangerous pass. You have to put it to the outside because if he throws it inside, you give the defender the opportunity to come under the football, under the receiver and grab an interception. So a great job by Perry putting it where only his receiver can make a play on it.
Starting to feel really comfortable right now. 214 passing yards here tonight. Back to the ground game. Homer going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Desmond Young, 43, there to clog up that hole.
So once again, this has to be a concern for the Miami offense. Their offensive line is not getting pushed. When they get inside the red zone where the field is not as deep and everyone can play closer to the line of scrimmage, this is when you have to depend on your offensive linemen to be able to get pushed at the point of attack.
That 214 yards, that is Rozier and Perry combined. That is not just the numbers on Perry. As a timeout is called on the field. Miami, second down and goal when we come back.
ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
28-0 and Miami looking for more over Savannah State. Drew Felios with Forrest Connolly, the former Florida State Seminole. Hurricanes with a slow start, kicked it into high gear in the second quarter. And with a redshirt freshman, N'Kosi Perry, leading the way. It's got the hot hand right now. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. Back to the running attack. Travis Homer trying to really get him going. He'll take it to the 3. So the third down and goal. Another player is down
for injury
for Savannah State. That's William Campbell, who is slow getting up. Again, that is one thing that really had Eric Rayburn concerned at the beginning of the week, how his team was going to hold up in the long run against these Hurricanes. Already seen one player go off the field here in the third quarter, and 22 is going to be the second.
Well, he led with his helmet, and you have to wonder, did he get his bell rung on that play? You see right there, he led with the crown of his helmet. He has to be careful because that can be considered a targeting play. You cannot lead with the crown of your helmet. And a lot of people get angry when you see that called, but the way he's coming off the field, it looks like it's something with a lower body injury, but you know, you have to be careful with the way that you tackle. Now, getting back to this Miami rushing attack, the best rush that they've had so far this afternoon has been an 11-yard gain by Homer. And that's interesting, and that's something that I thought that they would be able to work on throughout this ball game and show vast improvement from the LSU game to this game as far as running the football.
Yeah, it has not been a very impressive ground attack for the Hurricanes considering the opponent. Perry to the air once more. Has a man open, and it's an easy touchdown. First touchdown of Brevin Jordan's Hurricanes career.
And that was a great job by Perry reading the defense because he initially had Trayvon Gray, number 32, open, but they came down to cover him, and he went to his backside receiver, number 9, Jordan, to get the easy score. A great job of allowing his receiver to clear and be wide open. And these young tight ends are stepping up and making big plays for this offense.
$35-0. Extra point is good. So N'Kosi Perry 3 of 3 on that drive. And Jordan getting congratulated by his teammates. All smiles tonight on that Miami sideline. You see Brian Hightower, number 7, in there as well. This is exactly what Miami needed. And these young players emerging, getting a glimpse for us of the future of Hurricanes football.
Well, when you look at the tight end position, you've got 2 true freshmen that have scored and played very well. And we know that Miami is one of the teams that uses the tight end often. And you see Coach Rick taking advantage of their size on the outside. Jordan at 6'3", 245 pounds, and Mallory at 6'5", 230 pounds. The thing that I like about both of these guys, they're hand catchers. They're not body catchers. They catch the ball and they squeeze the football. And we talk about squeezing the football and catching the football the correct way. In that first touchdown by Mallory, he showed you an example of his strength and the strength in his hands to hold on to it as the defender tried to poke it away.
Coach Rick raved about his young tight ends. He's got good reason to. They are going to be special players. Baxa, another freshman, showing an electric foot here tonight. It'll be another touchback for Savannah State. Meanwhile, Savannah State, their final year playing MEAC football. They've got Howard as their next opponent. We'll focus on the SIHC conference in Division II. Eric Rayburn wanted the challenge of turning this program around. When he took this job, almost 40 guys were academically ineligible. He had to get the culture, the accountability back on track. He's done just that. Gibbons up to the 22-yard line this time. It'll be a short pickup. That's the toughest thing when you take over a program. Getting the mindset right. And Forrest, that's the most important thing here in big-time college football.
Well, what he did was bring back academic discipline to the program. And that's key. You're not only there to play football, you're there to get a degree. And it's important that these kids understand that you're student athletes, not athletic students. And I like the fact that he got them back on track academically. The football will come. That will come. But you want to make sure that your kids leave that institution with a degree.
Dropping back, and now Gibbons takes it ahead to the 27. Yeah, these workouts that Savannah State is going through, Forrest, they're all at 6 a.m. First thing in the morning.
So there's no excuse to say you're not up and prepared to go to class. So I like that. I'll tell you what, I'd rather practice at 6 a.m. than 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Savannah. It might be the hottest place on earth in August.
Well, it's tough to set my alarm for 8 a.m. these days, seems like. All this road time we're getting in. TJ Bell on the sideline right now for the Tigers. Right now it's Stevan Gibbons' show on 3rd and 8. Here comes the rush again. Gibbons has it complete. Nice conversion for the Tigers, and that's James Kicklighter out of bounds. First down, Savannah State.
And a good job allowing his receiver to break open. It's a long developing play. His receiver came from the other side of the field on a crossing route. He was able to throw it to him in motion and allow him to get north and south and get the first down.
Passing game for Savannah State really struggled last week. They had 4 drops. Quarterbacks were hurried time and again. And a lot of positive signs here tonight. Things to build on as Rashad Saxton takes this one out of bounds and pick up about 4.5. A flag is down, though, at the end of the play.
Holding, number 86, offense, 10-yard penalty, to play first down.
You know, we were talking about recruiting and Mark Richt bringing in some of these star players. You know, one big star that Miami could not reel in way back in the day was a big offensive lineman by the name of Forrest Connolly, who almost committed here in Coral Gables. Almost was wearing that Miami Hurricane orange and green, but said, you know what? I'm going to Tallahassee instead. I want you to explain why that happened exactly.
Well, it was out of Miami and Florida State University, and I canceled my visit to Miami because I knew if I came down, I'd commit. 2 great programs.
Good second effort. Saxton gets loose. Rashad Saxton has a first down and a lot more as he takes it up to midfield. Best offensive play of the day for Savannah State.
Well, you see the speed of Saxon to be able to cut it back because of all the penetration to the right side of the offensive line. He's able to cut it back, bounce off of defenders, and once he gets to the edge, he can get up the field, but he paid for it at the end of this run. Oh.
Well, for these Tigers of Savannah State, that scoreboard means absolutely nothing right now. They're soaking in every single moment, every positive play that happens. Just as I say that, is this an interception? One official says he's out of bounds. The other says he's inbounds. And that turnover chain maybe making its second appearance tonight as Sheldrick Redwine appears to have the interception.
There it is again. Here it comes. And you got to love it for the fan base. And I love it when the kids put it on because it incites them. And Redwine, who's a safety now, his first 2 years here at the University of Miami, he was a cornerback, so he knows coverages and he understands coverage concepts. He got a foot in. Well, the ball is moving. Let's see what they call on this play. It's going to be interesting. If I'm the Miami offense, I'm trying to get up to the line of scrimmage and run a play.
Wrote something down on that whiteboard. Redwine right now has got some jewelry. See if this gets reviewed. I think they're going to play on here. So Perry still in at quarterback. He throws this one away. It's intercepted. Tigers get it right back. First big mistake by the redshirt freshman, and that's Desmond Young who picked it off.
And you have to wonder if the football gods intervened on that play because I thought that was a play they needed to go back and possibly. But he did not see the underneath coverage, and a good job by the defender, Desmond Young, to step in front of that pass and get the interception. He just did not see him, and that's a freshman mistake.
How about that turnover chain? Not as decorated.
The turnover towel. We're going to wrap a towel around our neck and call it the turnover towel.
Definitely not as pretty as on the Miami side. Perry's going to learn from that.
And now for the defense, they want to preserve a shutout. So this is a big-time opportunity for them to step up.
TJ Bell sticks it right in the gut of his running back. And that a short pickup of about 2 yards. CJ Cole, this young man usually comes in on special teams, but he provides added depth in the backfield. As many as 5 different running backs we've seen tonight in the Savannah State backfield. Can you imagine what the reaction is going to be on the Tigers side if they can somehow, Forrest, pull off a touchdown here? They will absolutely go berserk.
Well, that'll be a big win for this program right now when you look at this season so far and having not scored.
Keep in mind, Savannah State has not scored a point in 2018. Trying to do it here at Hard Rock Stadium for the first time as Cole bangs his way to the 18.
And I've been impressed with the Savannah State backs to be able to avoid the initial defender, because too often when they've gotten the football, they've initially had to do some Fred Astaire dancing to get by that first defender that's gotten penetration and get north and south. So for them to get any type of positive yards, I've been impressed because they understand the pressure's on them as soon as the ball gets to them.
Coach Rayburn stressing his team play hard on every single snap, no matter what. It's 3rd and 8. Hurricanes showing blitz. TJ Bell now in at quarterback. Bell flushed out of the pocket. Unloads it and taking a huge lick. Amari Carter with a big-time shot on Elijah Shaw. And it's going to be 4th down. So the field goal unit is going to come on for the Tigers. And this is a big play because Giovanni Lugo, if he can squeeze one through here, will give the Tigers the first points of 2018. This is going to be a 36-yard attempt. The holder's Chandler Williams. He hooked it. Looked like it was blocked at the line of scrimmage. Jaquan Johnson may have gotten a piece.
Timeout on the field.
There's the message to Hurricanes fans. Don't be a fan later. 35-0. It's time now for the Carhartt hard-working player. Let's take a look at who's been putting in the work tonight. Brought to you by Carhartt, and it's Malik Rozier. He's played well. "67-yard connection there with Jeff Thomas, then sneaking one in. His night is done, but Rozier did his job, and he silenced some of the boo birds that we heard early in the first half. Brought to you by Carhartt, proud sponsor of college football this year. Travis Homer, biggest run of the night, and finally some holes start to open. The running game has been challenged tonight for Miami.
And I like what Homer did on that play. He didn't run out of bounds. Too often you see guys nowadays running out of bounds. Homer stayed in bounds. He's trying to get to the end zone. I like that play. And a good job by the offensive line to get a hat on a hat, and a great lead block on the outside to spring Homer. DJ Dallas, great job with the lead block.
Run this one right now, DJ Dallas. The ball carrier trying to break loose. Taken down at the 43. DJ, a sophomore athlete out of Brunswick, Georgia.
And when you look at Dallas, he reminds me of his size, Frank Gore. He's a small, compact runner, but he runs with power, and he runs behind his pads, and he's got deceptive speed.
N'Kosi Perry directing traffic now. Couple touchdown drives he's led the Hurricanes on. Wants to throw. Now steps up. Tries to get away from trouble. There's the athleticism. And he gets out right at the first down marker. It's going to be right at the sticks. And the legs of N'Kosi Perry. That's why he was such a highly coveted dual threat quarterback.
Now, I don't want to start anything, but there are going to be some questions after this ball game about Perry and Rozier, because Perry is playing very well. You take away that interception, he's done some really good things.
Off to the races, DJ Dallas bouncing off tackles, and he is inside the 5.
And there's that Frank Gore ability, breaking tackles, that deceptive speed, power, and balance. I love the way he runs the football. The offensive line is starting to fire off. You see them getting to the second-level defenders, putting a hat on a hat. I love the way number 65, Corey Gaynor, got up to the linebacker level, the second level, and put a hat on those linebackers. I love that.
That was a 39-yard gain.
30 seconds.
Forced to mention the play of Perry. Keep in mind, and we also have to think Savannah State a little bit tired right now. They are gassed here late in the third quarter. But it's not just the way a quarterback plays, it's the way his teammates play around them, how they respond. That's what the Miami coaching staff is looking for. And sometimes offensive line blocks, running backs run a little better with another guy in there. Just making the point, not saying that he's a threat right now to take Rozier's job.
But questions will arise, and I like the way Rozier and Perry are talking to Coach Rick. They're being involved. I like that, and I like the way Rozier's tapping him on the head and telling him good job. You want to see that. That's senior leadership. So I like what I see so far from these players, how they're interacting with one another and how they're supporting each other. Rozier understands that Perry is the future and he's the now. But I tell you what, if he does not continue to play as well as he did in the first quarter, there are going to be some whispers about should Perry get more opportunities with the first team in bigger ball games.
69 yards rushing on this drive for the Hurricanes. So finally starting to run through some holes, and finally over 100 yards on the ground. See if they award Dallas, who's done bulk of the work. No, instead Perry keeps it. He's going to be ganged up on that timeout at the perfect time for Stephen Banks and the Tigers defense. 58 showing he can play here tonight. So it'll be second and goal. It'll be a loss of about 3. That Frank Gore comparison, I like it. He's on target. Now it's Perry looking to his left. He'll loft this one in the air. Leads it a little bit too far. Was looking for Brian Hightower. It's been a little quiet tonight. It's been number 7. It's incomplete. Hightower had that big 32-yard touchdown catch last week. And what a deep threat he is. Rushing struggled in the first 10 drives. As I said moments ago, finally start to kick it into high gear. Credit Savannah State. Playing hard nose here. Trying to shut down that Miami run. Perry tosses it over the middle. And is it another touchdown for Brevin Jordan? Yes, it is.
And Jordan putting himself between the defender and the football where only he can make a play on it. Nice throw and better catch
rolling on the field
by Jordan. You see him holding on to the football. You got to love these young tight ends from Miami, and the fan base has to be excited about the potential of these young men moving forward.
See the official getting out of the way there, and it's a heck of a job by Jordan to keep that ball off the ground. Brevin Jordan, highly anticipated recruits out of Las Vegas. Watch this with the left hand. Keeps this one from hitting the turf.
The previous play of a catch and touchdown
It's
is
going to
in
be
the
under
further
review,
review.
but you can tell by the replay, certainly did not hit the ground. Only the second time in school history Savannah State has had to match up with these Miami Hurricanes. This program's meeting 5 years ago. 77-7 on that night. Hurricanes have kept the Tigers scoreless here so far. And is this going to be another Hurricanes touchdown by Brevin Jordan?
And I think it will be a touchdown, but I'm impressed with the offensive line on this drive. They've opened up some holes for the running game to get going, and a good job in pass protection. And I like what the quarterback Perry did on that play. He had a small pump fake, and he led his receiver on that pass. He didn't throw it where he was, he threw it where he would end up being.
At the further review, the ruling in the field of a touchdown stand.
Too often you see young quarterbacks only throwing to open receivers and not throwing receivers open. On that play, he threw his receiver open because he put the ball where Jordan would end up being when the ball got there.
Perfect on extra points tonight is Bubba Baxa. 42-0. Hurricanes over Savannah State. 42-0. Cruise control right now for the Hurricanes of Miami over Savannah State. And what better place than to ask for your hand in marriage with over 60,000 looking on here at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, but you got to hope that she says yes, because if she doesn't, that's why you got to come with it. A beautiful ring and a beautiful moment for both of those guys. I don't know if I would be brave enough to do that. They've had some instances where the young ladies have said no. I saw one where a lady ran off and left the guy out there. But it worked out well for him. Congratulations to that couple.
Taking it to 3 now. Miami's starting to really tee off here. Saw Hightower get down quickly. Jermichael Baldwin on the return for Savannah State. That was actually Al Blades, the other number 7. Al Blades Jr., the freshman defensive back out of Fort Lauderdale, playing a little special teams. That's the nephew of Benny Blades and the son of Al Blades. Cade Weldon now getting loose on the sideline for the Hurricanes, likely going to come in the next series for Miami to replace Perry. Gibbons takes it to the left side, out of bounds after picking up 2. So, coming in, this game was going to have to be sort of a confidence boost for the Hurricanes. And Forrest, is there any area that you think through the first 3 quarters here that Miami still needs to really improve here moving forward?
Well, the offensive line have got to do a better job of blocking in the running game. They need to work on keeping a flat back and getting pushed, making the initial contact, and getting a surge.
Hand off to D'Angelo Durham, another freshman for Savannah State.
I'm also concerned about the left tackles, or excuse me, both tackles. They're pass blocking on the outside when they're out on an island by themselves, because they're going to face some elite pass rushers as they get into conference play when you play against a Florida State, a Virginia Tech, a Georgia Tech that has some pass rushers on the outside. Yep. So they've got to step it up on that outside and be able to play and be dancing bears on the outside and keep that outside shoulder away, get those 3 kick steps, and then be able to turn and run those defensive ends and outside linebackers up the field to allow a pocket to develop around your quarterback.
3rd down, Tigers need 7. Gonna let Durham have a chance one more time. And he gets taken down in the backfield again. Zach McLeod, the junior from Lantana, Florida. Also Nesta Jade Silvera, another good-looking freshman for the Hurricanes on defense. That's another 3 and out. So starting to set in for Savannah State. Played with a lot of heart through a little more than a half of football, but there comes that moment where you just kind of look up at the scoreboard and say, you know what, I think we've had enough.
Well, they've competed, and that's all you can ask for from your ball club, is to compete. Don't come in and just concede.
Jeff Thomas, look out, he has got crazy speed and a whole field to work with. Jeff Thomas, all the way to the 16-yard line. Electrifying this Hard Rock Stadium crowd.
I want you to watch number 5 on this play. He put a hat right there. Bam! That's what you call giving someone the people's elbow. And when you talk about kickoff and kickoff return, it is a kamikaze squad out there, because guys are flying down the field.
Play is under review.
And for that young man from Savannah State to be able to get up and walk off the field, that says something in itself, because he hit him unlike probably he's ever been hit before in his life.
Have to say, instead of a people's elbow, that was a Roman Reigns spear job that time. And I think,
and that was Amari Carter.
That's the type of play force that they could be reviewing as a targeting, as they have a pause in action right now, marked at the 16-yard line.
Well, there are 2 right there. Number 20, I think, is more of a targeting, because number 5, I thought he led with his shoulder. I thought number 20 is the player I would be looking at for a possible targeting play, Robert Knowles. It's not as fierce as that one. If our guys can go back again and show us that play again, watch number 20 initially get a block on the sideline right as Thomas is getting ready to cut back across the field. Watch number 20. Right? Well, that's number 5 right there. They're looking at number 5's block, but watch number 20. But we still can't see it on this one, but right here. He led with his shoulder. And the danger of this is if he's kicked out of this game, and that's called targeting. Now watch number 20 right here. This is the play. He launches, and you see he leads with the crown of his helmet. To me, that's more of a targeting.
After further review, there's no foul for targeting. The play stance was called.
And I think because he led with his shoulder, but number 20 has to be very, very happy, Robert Knowles, that they did not look at him because he led with the crown of his helmet, but the other play was so fierce. Yeah, he sees it coming.
Oh,
but he led with his shoulder, and you saw him turn his body and led with his shoulder. Yes. That's what they call an old school slobber knocker.
So after all that, a short field for Cade Weldon in his first snaps as a Miami quarterback from the 16-yard line. Weldon over the middle, throws it incomplete, threw it into danger. Donald Rutledge, the junior safety, if he had picked that one off, he could have run a long way.
And I think Weldon saw the pressure coming, the blitz coming, but his back did a good job. Robert Burns, number 22, of picking up the blitz, so he had a little bit more time. I thought he got rid of the ball prematurely on that play.
Weldon out of Tampa's Jefferson High School. 6'3", over 200 pounds. Good-looking red shirt. Will keep it himself this time. Get to the outside and cut it in for the touchdown.
And you know what? I played with his father at Florida State, and he looked just like his dad on that play. Fearless. He could have ran out of bounds, what you want your quarterback to do, but he planted that back up the field. You see the speed right here. Now watch, he could go out of bounds, but he plants, boom, and gets north and south and puts his shoulder down. He's going to get the touchdown. Those are the type of plays that get your offensive line into the ball game because they know you're willing to sacrifice your body to get to the end zone.
Coach Mark Rick says sometimes things he does, it's eeringly like his father. Coaches just look at each other. Hey, that is certainly KC 2.0. 49-0. Miami over Savannah State. Gets his first tastes here at home.
And he almost tripped initially when he started running. You see him cut back, and he's able to get to the end zone. A good job by the Miami offensive line to sell that play to the right.
Well, evaluating Miami's quarterbacks tonight. Malik Rozier, 3 total touchdowns, 131 passing yards. N'Kosi Perry came in, did solid himself, did throw 1 interception, but a productive job leading the team downfield. And he was able to hook up with Brevin Jordan a couple times. And now Cade Weldon taking the controls as we head to quarter number 4.
And the Miami fan base has to be excited about the quarterback position. You got Cade Weldon, you've got N'Kosi Perry, and Jaron Williams, who we haven't seen yet.
Touchback coming up. Well, the ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now. Talking about good, friendly quarterback competitions. You remember back in the day for us, Brad Johnson, Casey Weldon, tooth and nail in Tallahassee. Competition week in and week out.
Well, Coach Rick has been through this. Think about that. You had those two guys, the quarterbacks that he's had at the University of Georgia battling one another. And now you get down here and you've got 4 able quarterbacks. We still haven't seen the last one, Jaron Williams, but you've got 4 able quarterbacks. I think what helps is the new redshirt rule where you can play guys up to 4 games and still get a redshirt. So all of these guys will get some time. He'll get to see them in live action, and then he can make, a decision who will redshirt, because I'm sure at least one of these guys is going to redshirt. You want to conserve a year for your quarterbacks, but it's a great problem to have if you're a head coach at a big-time program.
That's very friendly competition right now. Weldon, Perry dueling it out. Jaron Williams waiting in the wings. Rozier still the starter here in Miami. Head out of bounds, and the clock will stop at 10 seconds. You know what's really difficult, too, through all these tough competitions, Forrest? Just becoming friends and staying friends. It's a tough thing to do, right, when you're battling for starting jobs.
Well, you're in the same meeting room. you have a brotherhood that you develop. And you want to see your guy do well. Of course you want to play, but you can't help but be friends. And it's about team. It's not about me. It's about team. Because you win and you lose as a team. And they can learn from Malik Rozier. He's been in those battles that they've yet to be in, that they will be in. So he can tell them things and share experiences with them that they don't have but will have.
That's
Bradley
the end
Jennings
of the third
getting up
quarter.
slow. As Cade Weldon able to score for Miami. Fourth quarter coming up from Coral Gables. Second meeting for Miami and Savannah State. Total domination throughout two. Coach Ricks wasn't here for the first. That was in the Al Golden era. Hurricanes pitching a shutout right now. Tigers have it from the 26-yard line to start quarter number 4. TJ Bell back to throw. Intercepted. Hurricanes trying to set up the return for Javonte Dean.
And you know what's coming. The crowd's getting excited. Here we go.
This thing has become legendary, hasn't it?
Well, whether you're a fan of Miami or not, you got to be a fan of the turnover chain. You got to be a fan. The crowd gets excited. The kids get to stand up. And like they said, you want to get a turnover and put the chain on because you know you're going to be on TV. You know you're going to be featured. So I love it.
Second interception tonight for the Hurricanes. Cade Weldon, second series. Start this one from the 33. Scored a touchdown for the Hurricanes in his last. This give is to number 1 on the carry. Miami starting to go really deep into their depth chart. We got to pull out our charts. Now Forrest is getting the carry is Lorenzo Lingard. Picked up 7. Hurricanes working that rushing attack. Savannah State with Walter Yates coming up to make the stop. That should be enough for a first down. Lingard, another talented freshman out of Orange City.
And this is a good opportunity for the second team offensive line to get some good work.
$49-0. All Hurricanes here in the second game of the year. Weldon, an easy throw. It's going to hit Brian Pollendy. He'll take it inside the 10, down at the 8. So now 1 of 2 passing for Weldon, and Pollendy, the sophomore out of Denton, Texas, another big-time tight end.
And they just churn out great tight ends, big, good-looking kids at the position at the University of Miami.
You want to play tight end, go to the NFL. It's a pretty good place to do it. Lingard looks for the hole, runs right through it, and it's another Hurricanes touchdown.
And what I love more so about this play, not the strong running back, watch the offensive linemen. They're pushing, they're getting movement. You're seeing guys push guys to the second level. That is what you're looking for from your offensive line inside the red zone when it's obvious you're going to run the football.
Eighth extra point of the night for Baxa. And it's now 56-0. Lingard into the scoring column. Hurricanes rolling. Hurricanes well in command. This is going to be their first win of 2018 over Savannah State. Overmatched tonight, but the Tigers certainly have nothing to be ashamed of when this one's going to be all said and done. Baxa to tee it up again for Miami. He's been busy tonight. This one will be another touchback. Savannah State will take over from the 20-yard line. The biggest thing that the Hurricanes talked about this week, you heard it from Manny Diaz and even from Mark Richt and some of the players. In those big moments, in big games when you're on national TV, got to be mentally tougher in those moments and not just perform in practice for us, but in games like this. To see guys step up tonight, it's going to build confidence, because that's what this program is about. Guys with swagger and confidence and performing in big moments.
Well, what Coach Diaz talked about is they were prepared for everything that LSU threw at them because they had practiced against it and prepared for it. They just did not execute in that ball game. He said if you go back and you look at their practice film, they had practiced against everything that LSU threw at them. You know, blitz pickup, as far as the defense, getting to their fits, covering those backs, coming out of the backfield, shoring up the middle of that defense. And then Coach Rick said it offensively, the same thing, picking up that blitz package, being able to get the ball to the right person. They just did not execute. So you see a lot more execution in this ball game. There's still some things they've got to work on, but I think this is an excellent start to getting back to the brand of football that everyone expected to see this ball club play.
Heard from our colleagues Sean McDonough and Tom Blackledge on that night saying that they still got a way to go before they're playing big-time football. Not so sure it's that far. I think the talent is there. It's just a few tweaks here and there. Would you agree?
Well, they've got the talent. This is the University of Miami.
Sure.
You've got talent all over the field in every position. Every team has to make tweaks early in the season. You never know how good you are until you face live competition. You can play against your own players and practice all you want, but you're going to take it easy at some point because you don't want to hurt one another, and you get tired of hitting one another.
Tigers trying to drive it. C.J. Cole, another carry. Saw number 1 next to Jade Silvera, the freshman defensive lineman, has played well tonight. Make the stop. Be interesting to see how Miami stacks up the rest of the season. And remember, Florida State, their ACC rival, they took it on the chin on Labor Day to Virginia Tech. As Manny Diaz, I remember when Diaz was a student at Florida State back in the day. Now the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes. So 4th down and 9.
Second timeout, Miami.
And we got a timeout on the field. Manny Diaz and the Miami defense, along with the Hurricanes, had a chance to check out their brand new indoor practice facility, the Carroll Sofor indoor facility. Call it the Sofer. $14 million donation made by the Sofer family in honor of their mother Carol, as well as pledges by head coach Mark Richt, alumni and former players. Total cost more than $34 million. Beautiful facility. Over 81,000 square feet. 2 field turf fields. Directly to the Strength and Conditioning Center. And with all the inclement weather they have down here for us in the months of August and September, that is going to be a huge asset.
Well, it also adds to recruiting. When you talk about big-time programs, you have to have an indoor practice facility. So when you bring in these young men to talk about the importance of continuing to build your program and wanting them to be a part of it, that's something to sell the program.
Another possible return here from Jeff Thomas. Jeff Thomas stays on his feet. It's given the crowd reason to erupt. Another monster return. And we could see here another quarterback change for the Canes.
And watch number 26, Gervin Hall Jr. on this play. He did a good job on the other side of the field. That's why you have to maintain your blocks. You see him right here coming to the screen, blocking number 30 for Savannah State. That's what you have to do, maintain your block, because when you've got an athlete like Jeff Thomas, you never know if it's going to come back across the field and come behind you.
Fourth quarterback in the game right now for the Canes. It's Jaron Williams, the freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Williams to throw on his first snap, and it's a beauty. Caught, 24-yard line, and that's Marquez Ezer.
And Miami has a great problem right now. 4 very capable quarterbacks.
This guy, Jaron Williams, Coach Rick says that there's certain plays where he looks like he's got the demeanor of a starter. He's directing traffic out there. Keep in mind, he is number 4 on the depth chart. He could be moving up quickly. Here's Williams again, surveying the field. This one's a little bit too high. Mark Pope, another freshman from right here in Miami, was the intended target.
And Pope slipped on that play. That would have been another reception. But I like what Williams is doing. He's going for it. He's going vertical. He's going down the field.
Second down now. Run the football. Take it up to the line of scrimmage. First carry for number 23. And that is Cameron Davis.
And what should not be overlooked is Mark Richt's ability to keep these quarterbacks here and not have someone transfer out, because you've got 3 young quarterbacks.
Williams takes it to the 20-yard line. So we've seen Rozier, we've seen Perry, we've seen Weldon, and now Jaron Williams here in the fourth quarter in what they call junk time. Not to these young men getting on a college football field for the very first time. We'll step aside.
Third timeout.
56-0 here in South Florida. It is all Miami, 56-0. Shutout over Savannah State. Drew Felios, Forrest Connolly. Thanks for staying with us. We're in the fourth quarter. Hurricanes driving once again. The fourth quarterback that they have used tonight is Jaron Williams. Eric Rayburn's Savannah State program. They've played hard tonight, but just about out of gas here at Hard Rock Stadium on what has been a pretty humid night. 4th down and 6 for Williams. Another throw. Go for the end zone this time, and it's incomplete. Evidence Njoku was the intended receiver, the redshirt freshman, the younger brother of David Njoku.
And a good job by Naeem Bozeman to get his hand up in there and knock the ball away. Watch Bozeman right there. He got up, he timed his jump perfectly, and was able to get himself in between the ball and the receiver and knock it down.
Savannah State offense coming back on the field here at Hard Rock Stadium. Drew Felios and Forrest Connolly. Tomorrow the Miami Dolphins begin their regular season as they welcome in the Tennessee Titans. Football fans here in South Florida excited for that.
Second timeout, Savannah State. 30-second timeout.
And for the Hurricanes, be 1-1 after tonight. You look down the road. I think the schedule is sort of tailor-made. You've got teams that are sort of in that mid-major category. Then you got North Carolina, easily classified as mediocre before you take on Florida State on October 6th.
Well, the North Carolina ball club isn't playing that well right now. I think Miami can be 4-1 when they get to that Florida State game, and we know all records are out the door when they play Florida State because of it being a rivalry game. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech back-to-back will be a tough two-game stretch for this club. And the way Duke looked today against Northwestern, they won't be an easy out.
Saw only one ranked team, though, on that list. Doesn't matter, though, what Florida State is ranked. That's always going to be a tough ball game. Although right now the Seminoles are raising some eyebrows right now. After taking it on the chin to Virginia Tech, Forrest, I know you're amongst the alumni and a little concerned right now, and I think rightfully so. Heck, I'm a little concerned as well. Just one ball game in, though. Anytime you have a coaching change, certainly not going to be easy, but there are some out there that think that, you know, was Willie Taggart the right guy for the job? How long would it take him to get the Florida State program going? Because you're coming from Oregon cross country to Tallahassee. It's not an easy transition to make.
Well, Virginia Tech's a tough ball club to play at the beginning of the season for your first ball game. And I think they would have been a tough out for anybody opening up, you know, against them. You know, for Florida State, they need to get back on track today. They're playing Samford. They're down 6-0 right now. But they need to get on track because their schedule gets tougher. They've got games at Notre Dame. They've got to come down here to Miami. They've got Florida at home. They've got Clemson at home. They've got a tough schedule ahead of them. So this is a game where they need to get on track. They need to get those all cylinders rolling because it doesn't get any easier as the schedule progresses.
You think about it, Forrest, you got a new head coach there at Taggart. You've got DeAndre Francois coming off the injury. You can tell his timing was not all there in that Virginia Tech game. So a lot of obstacles the Seminoles are playing against. Jeff Thomas electric tonight on returns, over 100 yards. Returning for the Hurricanes. Oh, that one just blown up. And this is going to be a touchdown as Scott Patchen will get a gift for the special teams unit of Miami. And it is 62-0.
And number one, Nesta Jade Silvera just blew up the entire protection. I mean, talk about blowing up a play. Watch him just run through number 41, knocked him into the kicker. The kicker fell down, pushed him down. He was just a man among boys on that play. I don't think I've ever seen a punt blocked like that.
Patchen gets the turnover chain. Another Hurricanes legacy. And a pretty cool moment here in the home opener. Picks it up off the turf. 6 more for Miami here in the fourth. Right now, Scott Patchen, the redshirt junior, is one happy Hurricane after that special team sequence. What happened for us?
Well, Severa just man-child Jeremiah Bundress, number 41. You just cannot allow that to happen. If I'm Bundress, I'm not going to practice Monday when they do film session. I don't want to see that. I mean, that's, oh my goodness. I have never seen a play like that, someone get just blown up into the punter the way he did on that play. But you know, you've got to stay low, especially when you're in that protector mode, because you've got guys coming at you full speed. When you're high, that's what will happen. It has nothing to do with FCS versus FBS. It has everything to do with standing straight up and not being low and being able to take on that contact.
And it goes back to Coach Rayburn saying you cannot take plays off. Got to play hard on every single snap. 6 different Miami Hurricanes scoring their first touchdowns here tonight. Scott Patchen the latest. That turnover chain has been worn by several guys tonight. And look at the legacies. Michael Irvin II, Patchen, you've got Pat Bethel, Zach Fiegels, son of Jeff, Al Blades Jr. as well. Cade Weldon, not even on that graphic, but of course, he is not the Hurricanes legacy. His father playing at Florida State.
And Miami is making up for the turnover chain not being worn last week. And you got to love it once again. Everybody's getting pumped up. And you get your personal TV time. I love what the players said last year when they brought it out. They said they wanted to be the guy to wear the turnover chain because you know you're going to get personal TV time. And you got to love it for these kids.
Patchen didn't get to wear it very long for us.
And you know, you've got a lot of other programs that are trying to simulate the turnover chain, but they need to pay homage to Miami because they brought it out. Yep. They invented it. And find something else for a turnover. I like that this should belong only to Miami. And, you know, I'm just biased because I saw them do it first, and I see the excitement that it created, not only in this stadium and for their fan base, but around college football. That's why so many teams, you know, took it from them and tried to do the same thing. You know, be a little bit more original.
Went down to the high school level as well. You saw high school players bringing out the turnover chain as well. Seen championship belts brought on.
Well, that's just like the smoke. Miami is the team that runs out of the smoke.
Personal foul, face mask, on the distance, after this to the goal line, automatic first down.
Well, first down after the face mask. Hurricanes going to have it at the 13-yard line, make that the 12-yard line here as we wind things down. This last 6 minutes plus seeming like an eternity right now for Savannah State. That clock is not moving at the moment. Jaron Williams in at quarterback. Give it to the running back. Another lane open. Canes driving forward. Everybody trying to get into that scoring column, and Robert Burns is the latest.
And you're seeing the talent that this Miami ball club has. They have so much depth at their skill positions.
Another run. Jaron Williams scores again. A little bit of a skirmish between both teams in the end zone after the play.
And it's starting to get a little chippy out here. For Savannah State, you know, you talk about an embarrassment, you know, it's going to be 70-0. I understand the chippiness. And a good decision by Williams on the RPO. He read the linebacker, he read the defensive lineman, and did a good job keeping that football and getting to the end zone.
All four Miami quarterbacks scoring a touchdown. Jaron Williams the latest. 70-0 here in Miami. $70-0. Miami leading Savannah State here late. 5.5 minutes to play, and it was a message earlier written on the whiteboard: don't be a fan later.
And I love it, because he's telling the fan base, don't give up on us. Don't be a fan if we continue to win out and now jump back on the bandwagon. One game doesn't make a season. Yeah, we didn't play well last week when everybody wanted us to, and we thought we would. But let's not overlook that LSU is a pretty good ball club. They're a ball club that contends every year until they play Alabama, of course.
Sheldrick Redwine writing the message. Number 26, Darryl Bonner, making the play on special teams that time. And it'd be really interesting to see what happens with this Miami team moving forward. Talked to Coach Mark Richt earlier this week, and you asked him for us, Coach, you're in a program where the fans expect greatness. They really, really care. Not a lot of margin for error week in and week out. And I loved his answer. As we'll take a look at this play and explain more, Tigers get a little short gain, about 2 yards on first down. But he said, I expected this when I came here to Miami because that means we have fans who care. It'd be better, or it'd be worse rather, if they didn't care at all. Because they care, you really have got to win. There's that pressure.
Well, think about where he's coached. He was an offensive coordinator at Florida State. They expected to win championships when he was there in the early and late 90s. Then he became the head coach at the University of Georgia. They expect to compete for national titles and SEC titles, the toughest conference in college football, every season. Now you're at the University of Miami, where there's a rich tradition of championship football. So, of course, he's used to it. So this is nothing new to him. So I thought he was the perfect hire for this program. He's a Miami Hurricane. He played here behind Jim Kelly. He was here when it really started with Coach Schnellenberger. So he knows the tradition. He knows the expectation, and he's given it his heart and soul. And so I think that this is the perfect scenario for him, for this team, and for this fan base when you talk about expectations of championships.
3rd down 7 coming up. I'll tell you what, too. I know you loved Forrest playing in the old Orange Bowl back in the early 90s. Remember when that place used to get wild?
Absolutely.
What a venue that was. But I'll tell you what, we get a chance to come down here to Hard Rock Stadium pretty much every year. And this stadium, especially since it's been redone, this is an amazing venue. And usually I'm not a fan of college teams playing their football in NFL stadiums, except right here. When the fans pack this place, this is a heck of a home field advantage.
Well, it's a beautiful venue, and I think what helps is, the Dolphins and the Hurricanes both have orange as a part of their color scheme. So you don't have to change a whole lot with the stadium. Now, there is some mystique lost when you don't play in the Orange Bowl, and I used to love to play down there. Think of some of the guys that I got to play against. You talk about those linebackers, Smith, Armstead, Barrow, Ray Lewis, the defensive lineman, Warren Sapp, some of the defensive backs. I mean, just all that talent and all those battles that we had on the field back then. The Rock. Back then he had curly hair and was known as Dwayne.
You remember blocking him, don't you?
Absolutely. He was a hustle guy. He wasn't an all-out super great player, but he was a very strong guy that hustled. And if you didn't block him to the whistle, he'd make a play on you. He's a better actor than a football player. And not to take anything away from his football skill set, because he couldn't just come here if he wasn't a great player.
Hurricanes not satisfied with 70 points. They want more, and they are going to get it. Lorenzo Lingard going the distance. And that is going to match that 77-point high that they put on the Tigers 5 years ago.
And once again, you see the offensive line getting down the field, knocking guys off the ball, albeit they've come in with the defense is probably tired, but they're doing a very good job. And I like the way the backs and receivers are running down the field, getting downfield blocks, not giving up and watching their guy run down the field and get tackled.
64-yard run to make it 76-0. If they get this extra point, that will match their all-time high, and it's up and go.
So you got to think, if you're Savannah State at this point, you might want to just come out and take a knee and go ahead and let this be it. But it's a feel-good story for all of these young players you know, the third and fourth teamers that are getting a chance to show their skill set. And a great comeback win for this Miami program, you know, after last week's loss. And what it shows you is the potential of this team moving forward.
Almost 500 yards total offense tonight for the Canes. Over 200 yards rushing. There's going to be a lot of college football fans going to look at the score and say, come on, it's Savannah State. I guarantee you, it's going to go a long way for confidence moving forward. Just what Miami needed. That's 77 points again, tying what they did 5 years ago to this very Savannah State program. Alejandro Cardenas, the new Miami kicker, puts it in the air. And he boots it in the end zone. Another touchback coming up. So, Forrest, you had to block Dwayne Johnson, the Rock. You got a good taste of Warren Sapp as well. I mean, you blocked a who's who. You also blocked Vonnie Holliday for North Carolina. Okay.
The two toughest, well, the toughest Miami defender I've ever had to block is probably Kenny Holmes. Kenny Holmes on the outside of defensive end was a monster. I played against Crine and Patrick first. Medeiros was hurt my year, but Kenny Holmes was a man among boys. He and Kennard Lang, those two guys were fierce on the outside. As far as an interior guy, Notre Dame, Bryant Young.
Oh,
but
what a monster.
When you played against this Miami ball club, you know, for me playing against Warren Sapp, he wasn't just powerful. He was just very quick. His first step was ridiculous. If you took a false step, he would beat you. He wouldn't overpower me. Now the guards, I don't know, but he wouldn't overpower me. But Kenny Holmes, to me, was the best defender I had to block against playing in this series against Miami.
Here's another big name, Kevin Carter, Florida Gators.
Absolutely, another monster on the outside. But once again, if I had to look at Florida, Miami, and the toughest opponent as far as in-state rivalries, Kenny Holmes.
Really?
I still say Kenny Holmes was the toughest guy to block because he was long, he was strong. And the one thing about the Miami defensive ends back in the day, they would go for that outside shoulder and they would rip you and pull you down. So you had to always keep that shoulder back, keep your head up, and then they had the quickness to come inside. And then when you get on the other side of the field with Kennard Lang, he would just run straight through. He was just a monster as far as strength. And that old man country strong just run up in you. So those two guys to me were the toughest competitors during that series during my time playing against Miami.
I was back during times when University of Miami, Florida State just loaded up on talent here in the Sunshine State. It's a lot tougher to do these days with UCF playing a good brand of football, USF starting to come on, FAU, Lane Kiffin doing great things over in Boca Raton, not too far away. It just seems like the talent is a lot more spread out, not as condensed as it was back then.
Well, I think guys have realized that the NFL will find you if you have NFL aspirations and you can play. They'll find you, and guys want to play now. They don't want to go to these big programs and sit around. And when you look at FAU, you look at FIU, UCF, USF, these are big-time programs. All of these programs have coaches that have championship pedigree because they've either played for one and won one or been on a coaching staff that has won one.
D'Angelo Durham on the rush, takes it to the far side of the field. Savannah State continues to battle here in fourth quarter, winding down. A shutout likely on the horizon. This will be the largest win as far as points are concerned in Miami history if this 77-0 score holds. Durham taken down in the backfield. Hurricane defense. You'll love this film. Bradley Jennings making a play there. As we've reached 1 minute So the Hurricanes will look ahead as they head to Toledo 1 week from today. FIU the week after that, followed by North Carolina on a Thursday night. Impressive for the Hurricanes tonight, but is pretty much what we expected, especially after taking it on the chin against LSU. Not going to get away. Devon Gibbons taken down, and that should be the final play. Savannah State, even with the 77-0 score, they played hard tonight. That first half certainly had their moments, but still the talent of this Hurricanes roster, just too much to overcome. So Eric Rayburn has reason to be proud, but it's still the largest margin of victory in Miami history. 77-0. Mark Richt's Hurricanes improve to 1-1. So for Forrest Connolly, I'm Drew Fellio saying so long from Miami, Florida. Final score 77-0. All games airing on ESPN Network, streaming live on the app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Hard Rock Stadium.